Hi, you guys. Welcome back to the Review Network. I am doing On My Block Season 4 character rating. I just want to get a conversation started about the characters. So, you guys, please tell me in the comments what you think about the ratings I give each character. Let's discuss it. Alright, so I'm just going to start off with Ruby. So, throughout the show, I've always been a big fan of Ruby's character. I feel like he was the most, I want to say, the most important character, or at least top two, as far as storyline goes. He was pretty much at the forefront of the first two seasons. With everything that happened with Latrell and Olivia's death. So I really appreciated his character's presence. Season 4 was a little different because I feel like there wasn't many storylines in general, and I know that had nothing to do with his character. But it didn't really. The storylines were kind of like it was. The plot was just all over the place. There wasn't really a plot. Honestly, it was just a lot of different things happening. It was almost like a reality television. Like that's what it felt like. But anyways, yeah. So Ruby. By the way, I won't give out too many spoilers because just in case there's some people who haven't watched it yet. But Ruby during season 4, he didn't really go through much. Him and Jasmine, of course, are dating, and that was pretty much about all the change that his character had. He went through a little thing with Jamal. But other than that, there wasn't really much change, which honestly, Ruby's character is one of those characters that you just kind of hope don't change. But at the same time, it had been 2 years since they had last, seen each other. So you would assume that there would have been some type of growth. The time skip was 2 years, and it seemed like all the characters, there was an attempt to change the persona of all the characters, but it didn't really. I'm gonna get into it, but Ruby character pretty much stayed the same, aside from his dating Jasmine in their activities. But overall, I still have a deep connection with Ruby's character, and I still love the guy, so I gave him a rating of 9. Moving on to Monse. So throughout the show, I wasn't really huge on Monse. I always felt like her character was kind of like a Sakura, really just chasing after the guy, and it just seemed like it was going nowhere, or then it was, and then it wasn't. It just was a lot, and it was just something we've seen so many times before, so it kind of just made you with her character, which is unfortunate because I feel like her being so strong and stubborn could have really gave her character, a different feel if they wouldn't have made all her focus on a guy, but they did, and so that was unfortunate for her character. I feel like her only thing was her storyline with her mom. That was really good, and I really loved that. But that also kind of went nowhere, also because her mom died, so that kind of didn't help much either. But yeah, I know there was this thing with the school, her going to a different school and things like that, which they do kind of get into that a little bit, but not a lot. And then like they even like was showing like I think a friend, I'm guessing, that was there, and I really wasn't understanding what that was all about because that really didn't go anywhere. They didn't introduce the friend. I don't ever think I remember them having a conversation. Maybe they did over the phone, maybe once or something, but not that deep. So I gave her a character rating of 5 just because I wasn't really feeling her character. I mean, she's just there. Honestly, she could have been a side character because her importance just wasn't there for me. Moving on to Jamal. So I've always been Jamal is actually probably like my favorite character on the show. His presence on the show is just like absolutely amazing. Like at least the first couple of seasons. This last season, he kind of felt so out of place. He felt so out of place. And this last season is really why his rating isn't what you guys think it is. This last season, it just really made me see Jamal differently. And not just because of just, it was a bad season or bad ending. It was also because, a little bit outside of the show, I saw his interviews and things like that. And then after seeing it, it just made me like, oh, wow, this person is the same person. Like, he's not acting at all. If you really saw his character outside of the show, you would say the same thing. Like, he doesn't seem like he's really doing much acting once you see who he is. He is Jamal. That is who he is. He is 1000% Jamal, which is not a good thing because it just makes you like, oh, okay, he has a great character in real life, but he wasn't doing any acting or anything. He was just reading a script because, he is Jamal. And he had some great moments throughout all the seasons, especially his relationship with Abuela. And I really love that they brought that back in the final season. I really love that. And it just showed like they are like best friend goals. Like, honestly, like I want to find an Abuela, like, because she is amazing. We're going to get into that later. But I gave Jamal a character rating of 7 because his acting, he after the 2 years of them not seeing each other, and all the characters went through this little bit of growth and character change, you saw the acting capabilities and it was not there, or at least who he was trying to be, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. And it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel like himself. He just seemed out of place. Even the plot itself or just his storyline, there was nothing. He just seemed like he was in the background up until the very end. And it kind of was like they didn't know where to put him or what to do with him. He was a bit of an asshole too. Like I just didn't like. I didn't like his character, and then after seeing things outside of the show, it kind of made me go back and just was like, oh wow, I guess, I don't know. I guess he wasn't really trying, as far as acting goes, because he is Jamal. So we're gonna move on from that. So moving on to Caesar. Caesar is actually my least favorite character, and one of the main reasons why is just because throughout the entire show, we've always been just like, protect Caesar. Oh my God, Caesar's in trouble. Oh, Caesar's getting in a gang. Oh, somebody's trying to kill Caesar. And it was just so tiresome. It was so tiresome because I'm just like, okay, I get it. Can we move on, get into something else with him? Like, I don't know. His shift in season 4 was, of course we saw the ending of season 3. And so that kind of, and honestly, after seeing the finale of the final episode of season 3, you kind of wonder to yourself, should they have just left it there at season 3? you know, because it seemed like maybe that's what they were trying to do, was end it at season 3. And season 4 just felt like they just put some things together. And Caesar, he had a little bit of a decent storyline here in season 4. You know, it really kind of showed us the struggle of him and his brother, and them trying to just get that brotherly bond again, which you guys gotta watch the show. You just gotta watch the show. But it still wasn't enough. Oh, and honestly, I think his rating is so low because of season 4. Because of season 4. And it's like, do you put blame on people in situations like that? You know, I can't really discuss those situations, but do you put blame on people like that? But honestly, I hate to say it, but absolutely with him. That just, yeah. So Caesar has a rating of 3 because I just was not here for his character and the whole sympathy thing they was trying to give. It just wasn't working for me. Moving on, I'm going to go ahead and start talking about some of the other characters outside of the main characters. Let's talk about Oscar. So Oscar is my favorite character, like, or top 2. I'm gonna say top 2 overall, because throughout every season he's portrayed his character perfectly. Acting skills, perfect, 10 out of 10. Looks, 10 out of 10. But his storyline, he didn't have really, I mean, he did, but it was also kind of like, because he wasn't a main character, we didn't focus on it too much, but he just did such a wonderful job that it still made you just so intrigued about what's going on in his life. And I'm so glad they really just like took us there in the final season, and it was just so good to see his growth. Like his shift, his character shift was amazing, and it was just like, yeah, I can't really get into it, but you know, I just really love what they did with his character this season. And the only thing I just didn't like is how they ended the story, his storyline. It was just, you know, I just felt like it was unnecessary, you know, and, you know, you guys tell me what you think about that. You know, it felt like, why, you know? But I gave him a character rating of 10 because he has, as far as acting skills, because I've seen all these characters, I've seen all these actors' personalities outside of the show. So, and I'll take that into consideration when I'm watching any show or movie. Like how well are they portraying this personality? You know, is it good? Is it different than who they are? You know, things like that. And honestly, love it. Like when you see him playing Spooky, it's just like, what? Like, you know, and it just makes you appreciate it more. And so that's why I gave him a 10, because it was just like, he really has great acting skills. Like he really played against like, I feel like season 3 might have been a little rough there, because it seemed like he might have been shifting a little bit into the character he is now. So it kind of made me not like the acting so much then. But overall, season 3 was really just choppy anyway. But overall, I really love his character. And then I want to touch on Jasmine as well. Jasmine isn't a main character, but she has been around since the first season, and she has been a part of the group somewhat, mostly with Ruby, of course. And you know what? I really like Jasmine's character. I know a lot of people might not like her character, but I really love her character, and her character's funny. And though she doesn't get a lot of screen time, when she does get that screen time, she made great use out of it. And I also love her acting as well. You know, her real personality seemed a little more grounded. You know, and I'm not gonna say serious, but she just seems like, you know, she's about to getting that work done, you know, and she just really portrayed a funny character, and I just loved her energy throughout the entire show. In season 4, we got to see a little bit of her own life, and I love that. I wish we could have got more of that, and I really hate that we started to get into her character more only for the show to end, because now it's just like, oh, I would love to see more. I would love to see more of Jasmine. But unfortunately, that is it for her, you know, the show in general. I did hear that there is a spinoff coming, but I doubt any of the characters we know and love now are going to be going on to that spinoff. But if you guys have heard anything else differently, please let me know, because I would love to know that some of my favorite characters are coming back. That would be great. But I gave Jasmine a character rating of 8 because she did what she had to do with the time she had. You know, every moment she was on screen, she gave it her all, and you can just tell that, like, she forced her presence there. Like, you're gonna know that she's around. Like, she's not no side character, even though she is, but she felt like she should have been a part of the main group. And then the last person I want to talk about is Abuela. Her character, I also gave her, I'm just going to tell you the rating, I also gave her a rating of 10, because from season 1 to season 4, Abuela's character is hands down the best character. I just love her, and she's not a main character, but I love this woman. Her sassiness, her gangster mentality. Like, you can get these hands anytime. You know, it just, I love her character. I love her character. She really helps the group so many times. I love her relationship with Jamal. Like, that is like always the highlight of the show. Like, her and Jamal, their relationship is, I swear, you just can't wait to see it every time you watch the show. Like, what are they gonna get into next? And I just love that it wasn't as goofy and everything. Like, I mean, it had its moments, but this season with Abuela was so amazing. It was so amazing, and you saw her in a different light. You always see this woman, and she still had her moments where she was really talking her shit, but you saw her in a different light this time, and I love that. And you even still see, you know, her friendship with Jamal, which is also really great. And it was just, another unnecessary story ending that I just didn't like. You know, I felt like it was unnecessary. Like, if the show is ending, like, you know, just let it be. You know, I feel like, I don't know, but, you know, I'm trying not to give off too many spoilers. But I do love her character, and I love that, you know, throughout all the seasons, she has still been, like, super important, you know, even as a side character. I even love the fact that this season they brought around the parents a lot more. Like, they made the parents a little more involved, which was really nice to see as well, because that was something we really didn't get to see that much, aside from, and like, we saw all the characters' parents, of course not, you know, Oscars and Caesars, but actually, I think we did this last season, but still not as much, you know, but it was still good to see that the parents were a little more involved and present in this show. and even concerned, since they wasn't concerned at all any other time. It was really nice to see them so concerned about what the kids were actually doing and what was going on. So it just felt more realistic. And that was really good to see as well. But yeah, that is my character rating for On My Block season 4. You guys, please let me know what you think about my character rating, and what shows would you like to see me do reviews on next. And that's all I have. Thanks for watching the Review Network.